A day trip to Pisa is worth your time. Learn from this video how rich this city in history, culture, and many beautiful architectural wonders. Piazza del Duomo is a UNESCO Heritage Site and home to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to notify you of more interesting video. Pisa is a city in Tuscany, central Italy. Pisa is recognized for its art and architectural treasures, historic churches, medieval palaces, and for remarkable buildings in the Piazza dei Miracoli. The Piazza dei Miracoli, or the Square of Miracles, is formerly known as Piazza del Duomo, or the Cathedral Square. Piazza dei Miracoli is distinguished as one of the world's finest architectural complexes. The square has four great religious buildings, namely the Pisa Cathedral, the Pisa Baptistery, the Tower of Pisa, and the Camposanto Monumentale. The entire square is a walled 8.87 hectares area. The medieval Roman cathedral is dedicated to Santa Maria Assunta. Its construction began in 1063, completed in 1092, and consecrated in 1118. This cathedral is a notable example of the style Pisan Romanesque. Pisan Romanesque is an architectural design which is a combination of Eastern architecture, Byzantine, and Lombard decoration. The facade is made up of grey marble and white stones, set with discs of colored marble. The bronze doors were made by Florentine artists in 17th century. The baptistery is dedicated Saint John the Baptist. It was founded on 1152, but only completed in 1363. It is the largest baptistery in Italy, measuring 54.86 meters high, with a diameter of 34.13 meters. Notice that the statue of Saint John the Baptist is located at the top of the dome. This building is a representation of the transition from the Romanesque to the Gothic style. Incidentally, Galileo, a famous early scientist, was baptized in Pisa Baptistery in 1565. The Camposanto Monumentale is also known as the Camposanto Vecchio, or Old Cemetery. The monument has been the final resting place for prominent persons, nobles, politicians, and artists from Pisa's history. It is also an open-air museum, showcasing magnificent frescoes, historical sculptures, artifacts, and architectural marvels. The Fallen Angel is a large sculpture of an angel made by artist Igor Mitaraj. Igor is recognized internationally for his fragmented sculptures of the human body, often created for large-scale public settings. Let's talk about the most famous structure in Piazza del Duomo, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, or the Pisa Tower, is actually the bell tower of the cathedral. The construction of the tower began in 1173 and finished in 1399. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is made throughout of white marble, inlaid on the exterior of colored marble. There are a number of architects and engineers who designed the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The tower is an example of Romanesque style. Inside the tower are two spiral staircases, with 294 steps, leading from the ground to the belfry, the top of the Pisa Tower. The belfry on the 7th floor has 7 bells, one for each note of the musical major scale. Notice that are 7 levels, representing the 7 ways of Christ, the 7 stages of life, the 7 harmonic spheres, through which the soul must pass, with the help of the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, to reach God. So how tall is the Tower of Pisa? Its original completed height is 60 meters, but now, the actual height is reduced to about 56.67 meters. So why the tower is leaning? It is because the town sits entirely on soil, composed mainly of sand, clay and shells, which makes the ground soft and unstable to stand heavy loads. Extensive work was afterwards done to overcome the tilt and strengthen the tower. The lean ultimately reduced, and the tower continued to straighten until in May 2008, sensors showed that the motion finally stopped. Engineers expected the Pisa Tower to remain stable for at least 200 years.